En diciembre de 1980, Mark David Chapman, acusado del homicidio de John Lennon, se declara inocente por demencia. Para la policía de Nueva York, Chapman distingue el bien del mal. Es un asesino egocéntrico y narcisista con un motivo claro.
The defendant was asked whether he had considered murdering anyone else. Why was it that he was focused on John Lennon? It's clear from the responses that he gave, the defendant had in fact considered killing other famous people, consistent with his motive, to kill a famous person, to bring attention to himself.
He had a hit list: Johnny Carson, John Lennon, Marlon Brando, Walter Cronkite, and Jackie Onassis. He acknowledged that there were others.
Los investigadores descubren que Chapman viajó a Nueva York en noviembre para tratar de asesinar a alguien, pero no a John Lennon.
George C. Scott was starring in a one-man show, Patton. The defendant claimed that he had gotten a ticket, sat in the first row of the theater, and was prepared to stand up in the middle of the show, raise his gun, and fire bullets into the body of George C. Scott.
Pero el plan de Chapman se frustró cuando quiso comprar municiones en una armería.
Legally, if you don't have a gun license in New York, you can't get any kind of ammunition.
So it wasn't the big part of him convincing the small part not to commit a murder. It was a gun with no bullets.
Días después de este primer intento fallido, Chapman regresó a su pueblo natal, un suburbio de Atlanta, Georgia, a comprar municiones.
He had to travel to get the bullets for the gun that he purchased in Hawaii. So that was calculating. That was premeditated. He knew what was right and wrong.
Pero la más clara evidencia del estado mental de Chapman son sus actos posteriores al homicidio.
Later on, it dawned on me that this guy wanted to be caught. He was only 500 feet from a subway.
Chapman tenía muchas escapatorias, no una, sino dos entradas al metro. Cruzando la calle está el Central Park, lleno de áreas arboladas para esconderse.
He could have dropped the gun, walked away, and disappeared. He decided not to.
His motive was to bring attention to himself. He knew very well what he was doing.
I fail to see how his remaining proves that he was sane in one iota. It's my professional opinion that the killer who fails to make any attempt to conceal his act or to flee from it has, when you come right down to it, no appreciation that he's doing something wrong.
En agosto de 1981 juzgan a Mark David Chapman por el asesinato de John Lennon. Pero a último momento, Chapman anuncia que Dios le ha pedido que se declare culpable.
The man who murdered John Lennon stood in a courtroom in New York City today and pleaded guilty.
I felt cheated a little bit because we didn't get our moment in time to tell the whole story.
I believe that at a criminal trial, this motive of being focused on John Lennon, of being crazy, of acting out against phony individuals, would have been totally unmasked.
Chapman cumple el mínimo de 20 años de cadena perpetua en la prisión de Ática. Es un prisionero modelo, pero le niegan la libertad condicional en 5 oportunidades.
He did want to become associated with someone who was great, if in the worst way possible, by murdering them.
He wanted to be famous by being infamous.
That is the crime. The crime is that Mark David Chapman's name certainly became well known when it shouldn't have.
A 30 años de la muerte de Lennon, sus fans siguen visitando Strawberry Fields, un monumento a pasos de donde asesinaron al ex Beatle.
On this day of celebration,
I remember when Strawberry Fields was dedicated, there were tens of thousands of people who came.
As a growing monument to John's spirit.
So many of the things that John did, he did for the betterment of the planet. He was someone that truly wanted to do good.
The people who love him see him in glowing terms that you only see saints. Since he died, John Lennon has become a saint.